Hello, what's up, guys? Greetings from the sole proprietor of Ronath the Figurehead YouTube channel. Now, I posted on Instagram like a couple of days ago where I went for shopping and suddenly it turned out to be toy hunting because, well, what else is there to do anyway? I came across this particular figure that just caught my eye, and it's something that I have been eyeing for quite a while now, simply because I think it looks gorgeous. But we'll get into that. The figure that I'm talking about here is, of course, the Black Widow Marvel Legends action figure that comes in this gray costume, so affectionately known as the Gray Black Widow, because, well, why not? But actually, I do know why, because this is paying tribute to Black Widow as she appeared in the Uncanny X-Men comic book, and I think pretty much in the 80s and 90s Black Widow was donning this gray costume. I think you would remember the famous cover of that comic book series. I think it was issue 268, where it was Cap and Wolverine and this lady right here forming the X-Men and whatnot. Now I must be honest that I've never really actually read the comic as such, apart from just reading it, and showing like it's a passing interest. But nevertheless, that's not the comic isn't the reason why I bought this. It's just that I needed a Black Widow because I am putting together, which you will see later in the video during the post shot, a team of figures that make up the, shall we say, the Marvel universe. I was planning one for the Spider-Verse and then one for the X-Men universe. So for the sort of mainstream Marvel universe, I needed a female character, and truth be told, I'm more familiar and I know that most of the strong female characters are more on the X-Men universe. I don't know. There's not much of an argument to be made for other mainstream, maybe Scarlet Witch, perhaps just because of the recent movies. But Black Widow definitely is one that I had to get to stand in front of the boys, shall I say? So I was in the market for the different types of Black Widows out there, and I saw the one with the couple that was in the market. For instance, the one that came with the bike. I think it's the Rider Black Widow. I don't know what is the official name for that. Not my cup of tea. I mean, it looks cool and all, but I think the head sculpt isn't my thing. It's not doing anything for me, and not necessarily someone. I mean, Black Widow isn't necessarily someone I would consider as like a biker action figure. Then there was a white Black Widow, because again, why not? That was called, I believe, the Deadly Origin Black Widow, or something like that. It also had decent head sculpt, a lot of accessories, but again, it was something that wasn't my cup of tea. But it was a decent figure, so I'll let that pass. Of course, the one that really caught my eye and the one that I really wanted to have is this one, so I had to pull the trigger. There is another version which comes, I think, in a carded version, which is the retro vintage card. So in that series you get like the let's say the homage to the original design. So in that series you had the Punisher and I believe Iron Man, Captain America, and all that. That too would not be easy to get, but and that was, if ever, was the definitive version of Black Widow. So between that and this, I think you are okay in terms of if you ever want to consider Black Widow in your collection. So as a rough price guide, now this one I didn't really get it from Big Bad Torso because I don't think it is in the Big Bad Torso. I didn't have a look. I got it from a local Toys R Us, and again, yes, they do still exist where I come from. It was roughly, okay, so I'm talking based on the currency that we use here, but if I convert it to US dollars, roughly around the $28 mark. So obviously things we get here is going to be slightly more expensive than let's say in the US, but that's fair enough. You know, if you consider shipping and whatnot, I suppose even Toys R Us has to do shipping and they still have to make a profit and all that. So it is what it is. Let's look at the packaging, what you get for the figure. Of course, it's a standard Marvel Legends box in a nice gray version of it. Usually it's a bit more darker, like black and whatnot. Of course, you know, very good artwork, impressive artwork as always in these sort of boxes. Then the picture of the figure itself and sort of a small description that says extensive training in the Red Room made Natasha Romanoff into a warrior with few peers. And then the usual gump about things that we're not likely to read. Again, everything that we will not even consider. And the logo of Black Widow, which apparently is the logo for Black Widow. I didn't even know that. So that it is. It's a standard box. Let's open this up and see what we have and whether it's worth our money. Right, I've taken the knifey and I've done the necessary in terms of cutting all the tapes and whatnot. So the thing about Marvel Legends, as you know, it comes out very nicely on the sides, so that's always a good thing. And straight out of the box, let's see the background artwork, and it kind of looks like Spider-Man, mind you, with a spider and well, lots of spider indication. Definitely a cool piece that you want if you want to use it as a background for the Black Widow. I guess you could, but I'm not interested in that, so let's keep that aside. And out of the box we have the Black Widow in all its glory. And I have to say, the thing that I was impressed, apart from the headscarf and the design of it, the general look of it of all, is also the fact that it comes with quite a bit of accessories, which is always a good thing in my books. Now, you know, I might be contradicting myself in the sense that so previously in the previous video I reviewed the Flash, and it had a lot of accessories, but it was just one particular accessories, which is the lightning effect. So for me, it's all well and good that you put a lot of accessories, but it has to be like a variation of many things so that you can play around with it. If it's just accessories for one specific thing, like the Flash McFarlane DC Multiverse, where it was only the lightning effect, it kind of defeats the purpose of adding a lot of accessories. But anyway, we're not talking about the Flash, we're talking about the Black Widow, so let's stick to the point. Yeah, so like I said, one of the good things that comes with the figure, apart from the good looking design, is the accessories. As you can see here, you have sort of she already comes with a bracelet attached to her hands, but on top of that you have bracelets that has I don't know whether you can see the effects, as well as sort of alternate hands. That's kind of like, a lot of female characters would have that's kind of, you can use it for characters that does shall we say magical things or psychic things. So the Jean Grey, the Rogue, the Scarlet Witch, all comes with various hands like that. She has a jetpack because, as you know, Black Widow isn't someone with any superpower capabilities apart for just being good in martial arts and trained well. So obviously she would need all the help she can get in terms of technology, and I believe the jetpack is from Shield and whatnot, so that's pretty cool. And also the blast effects that you can attach to the jetpack, so if you ever want to put her in a flying pose. I'm not sure I'm gonna do that. I don't necessarily consider her as a flying character, even with the jetpack and all, but it is a nifty special effect to have. So let's open all this up, put them together, articulate her, and see what we think of her. Right, so here she is out of the packaging, and as usual we'll look at all the quality control issues if there is any. But just to touch base on the what do you call it, the accessories again. Here it is, as you can see, pretty much everything that you will get. The special effects was something that I wasn't able to show in the packaging, but here you go. You have the bracelet that is like the aftermath of a shot or whatever that comes out of a this shooty bracelet thingy, and then the smoke effect that comes out of that, and then you have an actual effect where it's in pose with a shot coming out of the bracelet. Now the bracelet itself is what appears to be like in gold in color such, and it's like a very simple bracelet really, but I suppose you can interchange that with the existing bracelet, which is it has no effect. It's just a simple bracelet that's attached. Now that all being said, let's look at the figure itself. And like I said right out of the bag, she is one hell of a beautiful woman. Look at just the sculpture of the design of it and all. As I said, she's not the definitive version of Black Widow, or at least this look to me isn't Black Widow as such, but you can't deny that this figure's sculpt is just gorgeous. I mean, you can pass off as, this is one of the best female sculpt for the Marvel Legends, and you can just about put, I guess, if they're moving forward with this head sculpt for any other figures, so think Jean Grey, what do you call them, Rogue, or anyone like that, and just change the hair, I'll be up for it. I'll be really stoked about that prospect. I do like the short hair and all the design elements to it, also the gradation of colors, the red and whatever darker shade of red, and it works for me. The head sculpt is definitely a plus for this figure. It's one that I really enjoy looking at, and there's a nice like a short hair that just sticks out, and you can move it out of the way. Well, it's hard plastic, so but it has that nice flow to it. Other than that, in terms of let's see, any quality control issues, I don't necessarily see anything. There is a nice sort of belt with all the, I suppose, the Batman utility belt figure for female character. I suppose she's predominantly gray, so I doubt it there's going to be like major things in terms of defect and whatnot, so I think you're not likely to see many things wrong with her as such. In terms of paint job, she appears to have a large spider at the back of her costume, which is maybe the actual Black Widow logo, so pretty good. And then she comes with a jacket, which is the brown jacket, and there's a nice sort of separation of colors between the gray and the brown, so that's pretty good. And then she has what appears to be an Avengers, is that the Avengers logo? Possibly, it's an A. So yeah, all in all, pretty good looking figure, I must add. It's something that I think is predominantly, as I've mentioned time and time again, I'm a visual person. I buy what, first thing foremost, the first criteria is always going to be that the product should look good, and then the rest I can compromise in whichever way that I can. So if it doesn't look the part, then it's not even going to get any attention from me. So there you go. Let's work on the next section of the video, which is articulation. Now, in terms of articulation, we are always going to do the time and tested thing that you've seen in every review. So let's look at the ups and downs and all arounds and see where she stacks up. In terms of up, can she go up? I suppose. Yep, she can. I think the jacket somewhat hinders her head going all the way up, and if you put like too much up, you can see some gaps there, so Okay, and then the downs, yes, she has quite a bit of down, so that's pretty good. So what appears to be, I think it's just a hinge on a ball joint, and then she can turn left and right and all that good stuff. So that's pretty good, I suppose. In terms of her arm, she can stretch out that much, stretch forward that much. No bicep swivel or anything like that, as what appears in the sort of the male characters of the Marvel Legends. She has double jointed. No, is it double jointed? Okay, so the thing is, I can't really see the joints, which is maybe reflection of the new technology that Hasbro has put in place, where it's like a hidden joint. Of course, you can see the hinge there, but what I'm saying is you can't see the joint that allows you to see whether it's double joint or not. But okay, but this I think is a single joint elbow, which okay, and then you have the hinge that allows the hands to go inward that much, outward that much. I suppose the bracelet can come off. If you want to mix it up with all the bracelet that comes with the effects. In terms of articulation on the torso, yes, there is an uppercut closer to the diaphragm that allows her crunch to be that much, and then stretching backwards, where is it, that much. So decent, I would say. Can she do the waist swivel? No, actually there is no cut in the waist, so the only swivel is gonna come from the diaphragm area there. So I suppose that's common for female characters. I don't know, I must apologize guys, I never really had a female figure, so I don't know whether it only comes with one cut and not the waist cut. So if that's the case, then that it is what it is. And then in terms of thigh, she does have the thigh cut, for so which is quite common for most Marvel Legend characters. You have the double jointed knees, which allows fantastic bend all the way to her booty. And let's see, the ankle articulation is up by that much, down by that much, so it's pretty good. Is there any pivoting? It's kind of hard, but I suppose there is. No, is there? Can't make out, because I don't know whether it's hard or perhaps there isn't. So let's see. In terms of stretching capabilities, not much really. In terms of the split, she can only do that much. So there you go, it is what it is. In terms of kicks, yes, all the way up, so that's pretty good for a character that is known for her martial arts. And then let's see, not much in terms of moving it back, because it's going to be hindered by obviously her rear end. What else? Other than that, I think pretty much covered just about everything. Pretty standard fare. Like I said, the the arms can rotate, so all of them good. The only thing missing from what is essentially like a standard, or at least standard in my books, is the cut in the biceps to allow the rotation that way, which may be not the case for female figures, because I don't really have any female figures to compare, so I suppose perhaps it's standard. And then of course the waist cut that allows the rotation from the waist, that's not indicated here. So, but as far as look, let's say to the sides, I don't think it impedes much, so maybe it's not missed. So there you go, that's where we stand with this figure. So let's try to put all this together, do some poses and see, and finally come up with our last review of what we think of this. Right, before we go and attach all the figures, guys, I just need to let you know about the head articulation. Actually, you can see the hinge right there, so it does allow the head to go much further back than what I showed you. So here's what I think would be the problem is because of the collar from the jacket and the actual, the gray costume that gets in the way. So what you have to do is the gap. I mean, she has a short hair, but that still means that the hair is gonna be impeded by the costume. So what you do is just pull it a bit, ever so slightly, so that the hair can go beyond the collar, as you can see right here, and that allows the head to, be pushed further back, and she has that sort of looking up pose. So that's something that's just for your info, because I don't think it was reflected well in the previous section of the video. Nevertheless, let's get on back to putting all the accessories and whatnot. Now the backpack isn't something that comes with any pegs or anything like that. You attach is, and this what do you call it, this strap here is actually, you can't really open it. So the only way to put the backpack is to take out the hands of her arm, put the slit that in and push it, and it fits well thereafter. Now I don't know whether this is one of those things where you can take in and out as frequently as you want. It is quite cumbersome. I mean, once it's there, it's kind of solid, it's fixed. I think just taking in and out is probably gonna break one of few things. So once it's on, just keep it on. I think that's my advice to you guys. Now in terms of the hands, as I said, so I have taken the optional hands with the optional let's say the effects. So here's the smoky effect that I can just fix it into the arms, and in case you see, that's sort of what is that, the right hand with the sort of that pose with the smoky effect of the bracelet, shooting bracelet. And then there is this accessory that is actually the fisted hand with the shot in progress bracelet, just to give you a sort of a comparison. And you can see that's pretty nifty, I would say. What are the effects for Black Widow, and if you do that, that's fantastic, isn't it? In terms of standing, I think she does pretty well in terms of the thing. A lot of the the female character, I think because they are quite small or quite slender in appearance, you are going to have some problem in terms of standing them up, I suppose. But she doesn't seem to have that problem. In fact, it's not wobbly, mainly because the feet is flat. It's not like heels or anything like that. But so far I've never had any problem in posing her in terms of, or at least making her stand. She just takes a few adjustments and she stands okay. She's not playing ball now, but I would say there you go. She stands pretty well for what it's worth, and fantastic. That's what I want, because I don't really want to be buying like stands or anything like that. So all in all, what do I think of this figure? I think she looks impressive. Okay, before that, let's go to the fixing of the effects of the jetpack, because I don't want to leave anything out. And there you go. That is a fantastic effect, a rocket blaster effect. Now this is not particular for, I suppose, Black Widow. You can probably use it for just about anything, Iron Man or any other figure like that. But just as an indication how it looks, I think that works, doesn't it? She flying off, shooting people randomly, aliens and whatnot. That works for me pretty well. Yeah, so all in all, I'm thoroughly impressed with coming back to my sort of final thoughts on the figure. All in all, I'm thoroughly impressed with this figure. I like what I see. I think she will be a perfect addition to the collection. Is she by far, or by any stretch of imagination, the definitive figure for Black Widow, probably not, but she is a good representation, and I think one of the things I like about my figures is that you need every figure to stand out, you know, by themselves, in terms of you know, if you put them in a shelves, you know, they just have to look the part. They have to be like their own thing, and I think this Black Widow captures that look for amongst all the heavy hitters of the Marvel universe. So for that and that reason alone, I will highly recommend this. Of course, it may not be your cup of tea. To that I say, to each his own. Anyways, thank you for listening, guys, and as always, if you like what you saw today, I hope you can click the like button and subscribe to my channel. I am putting out more contents that I can every now and then, every time I buy some of these figures, and let's see where this takes me. I don't know whether I mentioned this before in the previous videos, but I do have an Instagram account that would enable me to take a few more shots and whatnot, and try to engage with you know, fellow collectors out there, my fellow brothers and perhaps sisters. So if you are interested in joining me in my crusade, please feel free to follow me in my Instagram handle at figureheads_unite. That is figureheads with an S _unite. Okay, so let's unite and make this hobby more mainstream, so that we can get more and more and more figures out there for every possible imagination or reimagining of figures and characters that is out there, and we all will be in a better and happy place. So with that, I bid you farewell, and I shall see you in my next video. Adios.
Here we go, making Billy on, getting icy zone, flexing, I've been swerving, make it trendy, we look sexy. Here we go, making Billy